Okay everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another video for you guys, another video from Aleczandxr, this one focusing on the Phantom Troupe. So let's not waste any time and let's just go ahead and watch the video. Let me just put on my headphones real quick. And, alright, there we go. Okay, let's play the video. So yeah, like it says right here, this is going to contain spoilers for the Hunter x Hunter manga. So if you have not read the manga, there's your spoiler warning. Okay, if moving forward, I'm going to assume you've either read the manga or you don't care about spoilers.
俺はね、レイコンって信じてるんだ。だから、死んだそいつが一番やりたがってたことをしてやろうと思ってね。
We will accept anything you leave here, but don't take anything away from us. The motto of Meteor City is a pitiable and lamentable one, a phrase that speaks of the sacred and unique sort of suffering that comes from being stifled and oppressed and unable to leave one's own marks on the world. A trash heap of a city whose residents have been tossed to the side and forgotten within the faded remnants, it is a place whose sheer presence speaks volumes about the types of people who call it home. While it is clear that it is possible to foster connections and find some sense of life in Meteor City, this is a place for the lost and forgotten, a place where no one officially exists, and a place whose own existence is unknown by many of the outside world. And this in itself fully substantiates the methods and motives of the Phantom Troupe, the majority of whom hail from Meteor City and have been tossed aside and forgotten before. The residents are viewed as living ghosts.
I still couldn't believe Uvo had an afro. I mean, just out of curiosity, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Does he look better with the afro or when with the hairstyle that he has in present day? Just curious.
And have been tossed aside
Personally,
and forgotten before. The residents are viewed as living ghosts, nearly translucent, pale imitations of people, just drifting and wasting the days away in this purgatory. It's a mockery of a life. Treading water, impacting nothing, being forced to find value with far less than is humane. The denizens do share a strong bond between them, but that bond is one founded upon the mutual amount of suffering they've endured, and as such, it cannot truly be called a life that is anything close to fulfilling. It is no wonder at all that Crollo believes in ghosts, because living in Meteor City turns you into one in essence. So naturally, being saved from something like that and being given a means for true value is so profound, because to have meaning is to live. Crollo, through the spider, imprints his will upon his limbs, fostering connections, and as a result, provides them with the means to be reborn. And so, their lives are, at their core, a raucous yet solemn tribute to the will of the spider. They're all given identity, the freedom to express themselves, and the ability to be liberated, as long as the spider survives. And they all share that common background of being tossed aside by a society that tried to neglect them. The Phantom Troupe as an entity is an incorporeal aura that surrounds each member and the group as a whole, but this common thread among them is totally tangible regardless. Finks alludes to this upon hearing of the Council of Meteor City's lack of agency with regards to avenging the victims of the Chimera Ants, saying that they always lose sight of what's important. Meteor City is a place that, despite being forced to be quiet, does not rise up and force itself to be heard through its actions. And that is where they and the spider diverge. The spider have found a way to express themselves and enforce their desire on the world, and have had their lives changed because of this purpose. Therefore, to act as this band does is the essence of life itself for them. It is the means and the end. Every murder, every theft, every massacre, they're leaving imprints and echoes of a sincerely selfless nature. because while this may satisfy and gratify the members individually, these actions are in and of themselves a demonstration of this sacred bond, proof of their lives now being ones of value, and a celebration of the sheer fact that they are able to enact their will upon the world. Simply put, it's all a symphony of life. For the spider, to paint the streets red with blood is to proclaim to the world that had forgotten them that they will not be silenced.
動機の言語化か。あまり好きじゃないしな。
It's not an easy concept to grasp even for the troupe members, and thus it is not ideal to try to put these motives into words. None of them, including Crollo, consciously take note of this, but it's something of an unspoken, unconscious sentiment. They are products of their environment, but just as that environment initially provided them with nothing, they have now learned the value of being able to share something so sacred with one another. It's an expression of life and love, in a beautifully ironic way. And so, of course they act. Of course they murder, steal, maim. They are imprinting this will as a proof of existence that the world cannot ignore. And, psychopathic tendencies aside, what better way to proclaim this? These acts are a haunting melancholy of a chorus composed by those who would have been lost and gone, if not for the purpose provided to them by Crollo Lucifer and the spider. And just as these souls conduct a bloody orchestra of love and life to impact the world and to express the bonds that are shared, so too do they express deep grief and agony in the same way.
ウーボーさん、聞こえますか？
I'm gonna lower the volume because I don't want to get in trouble for copyright. Sorry. Just bear with me.
しかしどこか悲しみに満ちた嵐の夜が始まった
The members are far from homogeneous and harmonious in their philosophies and what they view as the best things for the troupe, and that is obvious from the minor interactions and squabbles to Pakunoda's act to shirk her duty and save Crollo despite the latter's insistence on refraining. But they all work in what they each view as the service of this entity that is greater than the sum of its parts, this entity that represents a second chance at a life that seemed to be stolen from them. And so, when these people die, it isn't just the loss of a loved one, it isn't just losing a part of one's identity. It is a sad indicator of the finite nature of life, and a sobering reminder that the rebirth of these people will never go on as long as they'd like. Both Pakunoda and Uvogin's deaths were examples of them going out their own way, living life on their own terms, the way they were taught, all the while ensuring the best for the spider. These deaths were deeply sad for the members, but there was a sense of finality and closure to them, with the departed being entirely willing to be selfless if it meant that their entity lived on. With Uvo clearly not divulging any secrets, and with Pakunoda making an active choice to help her brothers and sisters, ending her life in a way she could be proud of. The two deaths caused grief, but with an overall impression of continued health for the spider. They are forever a part of the group, regardless of their lives ending. Their will is carried on in spirit, and through their intent to preserve the troupe, the future acts of the spider would be an expression and celebration of their lost lives in totality, carrying on the torch for them.
Yeah. お願い私で終わりに
But with the murders of Shalnark and Kortabi, things are different. There is no final act, just a snuffing out. The spider is dwindling, and the possibility of an end to it all is very much real. Yet, the head of the spider cannot allow this to happen. This is not only a threat to Krollo's loved ones, identity and sense of self, but the end of the spider would mean that the wills of Uvogin, Pakunoda, Shalnark, and Kortepi would no longer be able to live on. The everlasting would become transient, and those loud ghosts that Krollo mentioned would be forced to lay to rest. Forced to be silent once more, despite resolving to never be silenced again. He cannot allow this to happen, because any end for the soul of the Phantom Troupe would be too soon, and if they are to leave this world for good, they will not submit to the will of the society that tried to smother them, and they will go out their own way, in an orchestra of life, love, connection, celebration, and destruction. Many thanks for watching.
Okay, I think that's, yeah.
大暴れ
Oh shit. No. Sorry. Okay, sorry. That's another video. Yeah. We can watch this one day if you guys want. Sorry about that. That was a little technical difficulty. So yeah, there it is. Another pretty damn good video from Aleczandxr talking about the Phantom Troupe. And dude, to me, this is one of the reasons why I just absolutely love Hunter x Hunter. It's filled with so many great characters, so many characters that are, you know, more like they feel like actual people, as opposed to other shonen series where they feel kind of, how do I explain this? It feels like they're kind of fake, and I know how that sounds because technically it is fake because it's fiction. But what I mean is, within the world, they don't really feel like they exist. It feels like they're just, and I feel like I said this before, it feels like they're just obstacles for the for whatever story the author is planning on. Whereas the Phantom Troupe, they feel like genuine people that exist in this world. They have their own goals, they have their own thoughts, they have their own personalities, which is why whenever one of them dies, it feels a little upsetting, because it, like, Togashi did such a good job writing them that it almost feels like you just witnessed an actual person's death, even though they are murderers, they're thieves. Because Togashi did such a great job writing them, they feel real, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's a sign of a great writer, is even though you know this is fictional, these are fake people, they're not real, they're just drawings on paper, he wrote them in a way that made them feel like real people. That's why when something happens to them, you feel it, you know, even if you don't necessarily agree with what they're doing. And to me, yeah, the Phantom Troupe is just absolutely amazing. But guys, those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, in the comment section down below. I can talk. And remember to leave a like, share the video, subscribe if you haven't, click on the bell icon to let you know whenever a new reaction goes up and whenever I go live, so that if you just want to, and if you're a new subscriber, if you don't know, I do hold live streams every now and then where I get to just talk with you guys about what the hell's going on in the world of pop culture. So if you want to join me for those live streams, remember to click on the bell icon to let you know whenever I go live. That is, if YouTube actually does its job and notifies people whenever they go live, whenever the people they follow go live. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me again. Remember to stay safe and take care of yourselves as always, and please join me for the next video. Bye for now.